Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, coming up in the next 30 minutes. Indian Prime Minister concludes his historic two-day visit to Kuwait, with both sides elevating relationship to strategic partnership. Slovak Prime Minister meets Russian President as Ukraine refuses to extend Russian gas transit deal, which nears expiry. Syria's new leader says all weapons to come under state control, including those held by Kurdish-led forces, to announce defense military structure soon. Small plane crashes into Brazil tourist city, killing at least 10. And on to the details. After concluding his historic two-day visit to Kuwait, during which he strengthened India's ties with the Gulf nation, Prime Minister Narendra Modi returned home. In a special gesture, Kuwait's Prime Minister personally came to see off Prime Minister Modi at the airport. In a social media post, Prime Minister said, and I quote, "Thank you, Kuwait. This visit was historic and will greatly enhance our bilateral relations. I thank the government and people of Kuwait for their warmth. I also thank the Prime Minister of Kuwait for the special gesture of coming to the airport for the see-off." And India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi's historic two-day visit to Kuwait featured several significant moments that greatly enhanced bilateral relations. The visit, the first by an Indian Prime Minister in over 40 years, included interactions with Indian diaspora and Kuwait's leadership. Here's a report by DD India correspondent Akshay Dongre on the final day of Prime Minister's visit to Kuwait.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi being awarded Order of Mubarak Al-Kabir, the highest honor in Kuwait, by his Kuwaiti counterpart Sheikh Ahmed Abdullah Al-Ahmed Al-Sabah during his historic visit to the Gulf nation. The Order of Mubarak Al-Kabir has been previously awarded to foreign leaders like Bill Clinton and George Bush. On the second day of his visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with the Amir of Kuwait, Sheikh Meshal Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah. This was the first meeting between the two leaders. On arrival at the Bayan Palace, Prime Minister Narendra Modi was given a ceremonial welcome with a guard of honor. The leaders recalled the strong historical and friendly ties between the two nations. Both the leaders reaffirmed their commitment to further expanding and deepening bilateral cooperation. India-Kuwait agreed to elevate the bilateral relationship to a strategic partnership. Prime Minister thanked the Amir of Kuwait for ensuring the well-being of Indian community in Kuwait. The Amir of Kuwait expressed appreciation for the contribution of Indian community in Kuwait's development. Prime Minister Narendra Modi invited the Amir of Kuwait to visit India.
The leaders acknowledged that the bilateral relations were progressing well and welcomed their elevation to a strategic partnership. The Prime Minister also expressed confidence that the India-GCC relations will be further strengthened under the presidency of Kuwait.
PM Modi also held bilateral discussions with Crown Prince Sabah Al Khalid Al Sabah and the Prime Minister of Kuwait. During the visit of the Prime Minister, India and Kuwait deepened their relationship by signing of several MOUs, including MOU between India and Kuwait on cooperation in the field of defense, Cultural Exchange Program or the CEP between India and Kuwait for the years 2025 to 2029, Executive Program or EP for cooperation in the field of sports from 2025 to 2028, and Kuwait's membership of International Solar Alliance.
The International Solar Alliance, Kuwait becoming a member, collectively covers the deployment of solar energy and addresses key common challenges to the scaling up of use of solar energy to help member states develop low carbon growth trajectories.
Before departing, Prime Minister Narendra Modi also held a meeting with Kuwaiti influencers who for years have worked towards enhancing cultural cooperation between the two countries.
A new chapter in the ties of India and Kuwait has started with the historic visit by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Be it trade or defence, energy security or cultural exchanges, both the countries are now set to take their relationship to new heights. In Kuwait City with camera person Rajesh Rikki, Akshay Dongre, DD India.
And India's Madhya Pradesh has been recognized by the Wall Street Journal as one of the go-to global destinations for 2025. This accolade highlights the state's rich heritage, unparalleled wildlife and exceptional natural beauty. Principal Secretary Tourism and Cultural Department expressed delight, saying this global recognition solidifies Madhya Pradesh's status as a world-class travel destination, with 14 including 3 permanent and 11 tentative UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 9 tiger reserves and vibrant cultural experiences. The state offers unique experiences for every traveller. WSJ's recognition specifically highlights renowned UNESCO World Heritage Site Khajuraho, Panna and Bandhavgarh, celebrated for their cultural significance, thrilling wildlife encounters and breathtaking landscapes. And Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath to visit the holy city of Prayagraj to review preparations for a centuries-old spiritual gathering, Mahakumbh. Chief Minister will also hold a review meeting with officials regarding the preparations of Mahakumbh, which will commence on the 13th of January. The spiritual festival of Mahakumbh held once in every 12 years. As part of the preparation, safety and security of pilgrims are given much importance. Teams of NDRF, SDRF and police to coordinate efforts. Uttar Pradesh to integrate artificial intelligence and advanced technologies to enhance security of millions of devotees expected to attend. And Kisan Divas, or National Farmers' Day, is celebrated on December 23rd every year. This day marks the birth anniversary of Bharat Ratna Chaudhary Charan Singh, a key leader who fought for the rights of farmers. He played a major role in improving the lives of farmers in India. More on this report.
National Farmers' Day is celebrated on the 23rd of December to mark the birth anniversary of the 5th Prime Minister of India, Chaudhary Charan Singh. The day honours and appreciates farmers for their contributions to society and holds special significance. The strength and vitality of a nation's farmers, often referred to as Annadatas, is closely linked to the overall empowerment and prosperity of the country. The sincere efforts of the Government of India to uplift this crucial segment of society warrants commendation and recognition. India is the world's largest producer of milk, pulses and jute and ranks as the second largest producer of rice, wheat, sugarcane, groundnut, vegetables, fruit and cotton. It is also one of the leading producers of spices, fish, poultry, livestock and plantation crops. Commitment to live up to its name of Krishi Pradhan Desh. Farmers across the nation are experiencing a newfound sense of economic security and assurance, showing the government's farmer-centric focus. The budget set aside for agriculture increased 5 times, from 1.37 lakh crore rupees during 2007-14 to 7.27 lakh crore rupees during 2014 to 2025. Infrastructure near the farms is key to farmers' welfare. Since the inception of the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, rupees 35,262 crores have been sanctioned for 48,352 projects. Major projects sanctioned under Agriculture Infrastructure Fund include 11,165 warehouses, 10,307 primary processing units, 10,948 custom hiring centers, 2,420 sorting and grading units, 1,486 cold store projects, 169 assaying units and around 11,857 other kinds of post-harvest management projects and a historic MSP increase. Initiatives and endeavors. The Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana has become the largest crop insurance scheme in the world in terms of farmer enrollments, as well as the third largest scheme in the world in terms of insurance premiums. The government has formulated the agriculture export policy in the country for the first time. This has led to agriculture exports reaching up to 4 lakh crore rupees, with scope for further advancement. The government is promoting cooperatives in agriculture. Therefore, a Ministry of Cooperation has been established for the first time in the country. To ensure faster growth of the sector, the government is promoting private and public investment in post-harvest activities including aggregation, modern storage, efficient supply chains. Till December 19, 2023, 23.58 crore soil health cards have been distributed to farmers. India's global dominance extends across agricultural commodities, making it the largest producer of milk, pulses and spices worldwide. Given opportunities and an appropriate policy setting, India's farmers have demonstrated their capability to meet the food demands of the rest of the world. Abhishek Mahajan's report for DD India.
And now let's take a look at other stories making news today. A training program on making jute bags has been launched in Udhampur, aiming to empower women and promote sustainable livelihoods. The initiative equips women with essential skills in crafting eco-friendly jute bags, offering them a pathway to financial independence. The program includes hand-on workshops on designing, cutting and stitching jute bags, as well as sessions on marketing and entrepreneurship. The 31st Impal Book Fair is drawing book lovers from across the region, transforming the city into a hub of literacy excitement. The event features an extensive collection of books ranging from fiction and non-fiction to academic and regional literature. Publishers and authors from Manipur and beyond have gathered to showcase their works, offering visitors an opportunity to explore diverse genres and perspectives. Tourists flock to Ahmedabad's Nal Sarovar Bird Sanctuary to witness the mesmerizing sight of migratory birds. Known as a haven for avian species, the sanctuary hosts a variety of winged visitors during the winter months, attracting nature enthusiasts and bird watchers alike. The sanctuary's serene environment, combined with its rich biodiversity, makes it a must-visit destination for both tourists and wildlife photographers. Tourists flock to Kulu Manali, transforming the picturesque hill stations into bustling hubs of Christmas and New Year festivities. The region, blanketed in snow, offers the perfect setting for holiday celebrations, attracting visitors from across the country and abroad. Adventure enthusiasts are also enjoying activities like skiing, snowboarding and paragliding in the scenic valleys. And still to come in this edition of DD India Live. Pakistan faces indefinite visa ban from Gulf countries following criminal allegations. Bridge collapse in Brazil claims life spills toxic acid. And we'll show you a beloved spectacle requiring 6 weeks to prepare each year as Swabian village shines with festive light display.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy, always. Between walkers, money is what money does and says. Supply creates its own demand. Between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium. We'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
Welcome back. You're watching DD India Live. I'm Lipakshi Khurana, and moving on. Russian President Vladimir Putin hosted Slovak Prime Minister Robert Fico at the Kremlin on Sunday as a contract allowing for Russian gas to transit through Ukraine near its expiry date. Slovakia, heavily dependent on Russian gas, fears supply disruptions with the Ukraine transit contract expiring year-end. Ukraine has made it clear it will not renew the transit contract, while Fico mentioned that Putin had confirmed Russia's readiness to continue to supply supply gas to the west and to Slovakia. Fico posted on social media that Sunday's meeting was in response to Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky opposing any transit of gas through Ukraine to our territory. The two leaders also discussed the conflict in Ukraine just hours after Putin had warned of harsh reprisals against Kyiv over a drone attack. And Syria's new leader, Ahmed al-Sharaa, said on Sunday that all weapons would come under state control and his administration would announce the new structure of the defense ministry and military within days. In a joint press conference with Turkish Foreign Minister Hakan Fidan in the Syrian capital Damascus, al-Sharaa said weapons in the country, including those held by Kurdish-led forces, would come under state control. Sharaa said that after upcoming consultations with defense and military officials on a new structure for the military, armed factions will begin to announce their dissolution and enter the army.
Within days, the Defense Ministry will be announced and a committee of high-level military leaders will be formed to design a new structure for the new Syrian army. Following that, the factions will begin to announce their dissolution and integration gradually. We will not by any means allow for arms outside the control of the state. It is the top of our priorities to work on controlling arms in the country, and I think there is a wide agreement among the factions.
Meanwhile, Turkey's foreign minister said after talks with Sharaa that there was no room for Kurdish militants in Syria's future and that they must disband and that all sanctions on Damascus must be lifted for the country to rebuild. Fidan said Turkey was ready to support Syria in rebuilding efforts and said he hoped his visit would encourage more high-level contact from other countries.
Suriye'nin toprak bütünlüğü ve birliği.
There is no doubt about Syria's territorial integrity and unity, and there can never be any. In our talks today, we confirmed our mutual will on this issue. I would like to emphasize once again that there is no place for the Kurdish militants in Syria. This territorial organization is occupying the land of Syrian people and stealing its natural resources.
Çalmaktadır.
Well, in southern Brazil, a small plane carrying 10 people crashed into shops in the center of the tourist city of Gramado on Sunday, killing everyone on board. The aircraft owner and pilot died along with other 9 passengers, all of whom were members of the Fame family. In addition, 17 people on the ground were injured, with 12 still receiving hospital care, including 2 in critical condition. Manufactured in 1990, the twin-engine Piper took off from nearby Canela Airport and was heading to Jundiaí in Sao Paulo state under unfavorable weather conditions. Cause of the crash is being investigated by the Aeronautical Accident Investigation and Prevention Center. Meanwhile, in another incident in Brazil, a bridge connecting 2 states in northern and northeastern regions collapsed on Sunday as vehicles were crossing, killing at least 1 person and spilling sulfuric acid after a truck carrying the acid plunged into the Tocantins River. According to the fire department, 1 person has been confirmed dead and another was rescued alive. Preliminary estimates indicate at least 11 people were involved in the accident, with 2 trucks, a car and a motorcycle falling into the river, which is more than 164 feet deep. And moving on, the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia and several other Gulf countries have imposed an indefinite ban on granting visas to people from at least 30 different cities of Pakistan. The decision follows an alarming rise in number of cases where Pakistani nationals have been caught begging or being involved in smuggling, drug trafficking, human trafficking and other criminal offences abroad. The Gulf countries and cities, especially Dubai and Abu Dhabi, remain the most preferred destinations for millions of Pakistani travellers and job seekers. However, following the ban and increasing visa rejections, the already dented image of the Pakistani passport, ranked 4th worst in the world for the 3rd consecutive year, will suffer further irreparable damage. And tens of thousands of people gathered in central Belgrade on Sunday to protest against President Aleksandar Vučić and his ruling Serbian Progressive Party. The party was blamed for a railway station roof collapse last month that killed 15 people. The protesters switched on the lights of their mobile phones and stood in silence for 15 minutes to commemorate the victims. Opposition leaders and the public have taken to the streets repeatedly, blaming the accident on shoddy construction resulting from government corruption and nepotism. The ruling coalition denies those charges, and Vučić has said those responsible must be held to account. And President-elect Donald Trump threatened to reassert U.S. control over the Panama Canal, accusing Panama of charging excessive rates to use the Central American Passage, which allows ships to cross between the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. Speaking to a crowd of supporters in Arizona on Sunday, Trump also said he would not let the canal fall into the wrong hands, warning a potential Chinese influence on the passage. Trump's comments came hours after he leveled a similar threat against Panama in a post on Truth Social on Saturday night.
We will never, ever let it fall into the wrong hands, but it's falling into the wrong hands. It was not given for the benefit of others by a token of cooperation, but it was given to Panama and to the people of Panama, but it has provisions. You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question.
Well, moments after Donald Trump doubled down on his plans to take back the Panama Canal, Panama's president said that the canal will remain under his country's control. In a video posted to social media, Jose Raul Molino rejected Trump's claims that the United States could retake the waterway. He also disputed Trump's complaints that U.S. vessels were being charged unfair and exorbitant fees to travel through the canal.
Canal no tiene control direct.
The canal is not controlled directly or indirectly by China, the European Community, the United States, or any other power. As a Panamanian, I reject any statement that misrepresents this reality. The canal will continue to be in Panamanian hands as the patrimony of our nation and guaranteeing its use for the peaceful and uninterrupted transit of ships of all nations.
And moving on, recovery efforts are underway in Kuwait, Mayotte after the devastation caused by Cyclone Chido, as French rescue workers are seen treating the wounded in a video footage released by French Civil Security Services on Sunday. Children and adults were seen receiving medical treatment from the rescue workers, with some having cuts cleaned and bandaged. Officials in Mayotte have only been able to confirm 35 fatalities from Cyclone Chido, but some have said they fear thousands could have been killed. Health workers say they are bracing for a surge of disease as dead bodies lie unburied and people struggle to get clean drinking water. Well, Cyclone Chido killed at least 94 people in Mozambique in its deadly rampage through the Indian Ocean last week, raising a previous death toll of 76. The cyclone, which devastated the French island territory of Mayotte before hitting the African mainland, also destroyed thousands of homes in Mozambique. It comes as the southern African nation reels from a deadly post-election crisis, pitting the party in power since Mozambique's independence from Portugal against an opposition crying foul over alleged electoral fraud. And some news from around the world now. Dozens of stand-up paddle-boarding athletes dressed as Santa Claus descended upon the seafront of Greece's second biggest city of Thessaloniki on Sunday, paddling across some of its most famous landmarks. Crowds gathered along Thessaloniki's waterfront to watch the athletes go by on bright-colored SUP boards. Around 30 athletes have participated in the event. The Christmas house in Doordarshan enchants visitors as its lights glow. 45,000 lights illuminate the nativity scene in front of Joseph Glogger's house in the Swabian village near Guensberg. For over 20 years, the Christmas house has showcased illuminated nativity figures from December to mid-January, requiring 6 weeks to set up. A veteran firefighter in Guatemala City continues his 27-year tradition of dressing as Santa to rappel from a bridge and deliver gifts to low-income children before Christmas. At the age of 78, Hector Chaikin, a fire department major, rappels from the 75-meter Las Vegas Bridge in northern Guatemala City to deliver Christmas gifts. And the skies over Qatar's Mesaid city were alive with vibrant colors during the last day of the country's 5th annual Hot Air Balloon Festival. The festival featured 60 balloons from all over the world, captivating locals and visitors alike with their various shapes and themes. And before we wrap up, a quick reminder, India's public broadcaster Prasar Bharati has recently launched Waves. Entering the field of OTT platform, Waves provides a complete infotainment ecosystem to digital media and OTT audiences. If you also want great content for free, then download Waves today. All right, we'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Lipakshi Khurana from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India Live.